What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 12, episode 2. So, we start this episode off with Candy, Cynthia, and Porsha meeting up for lunch, honey. Candy said that she is off the road for a while, getting ready for the baby. Cynthia, talking about, enjoying life. She got used to that empty nest, honey, and she's enjoying life. Porsha rolls up. And once again, Porsha looks beautiful, but Porsha is not her normal. She got on a face, but she ain't beat for the gods and have the 10-inch stilettos and you know what I mean? But she looks nice, She absolutely looks nice. So they proceed to have a conversation with Porsha, ask her how she's doing and everything. And she like, look, I'm struggling. She said, I'm struggling. They even made mention of her wearing flats instead of heels. She was like, okay. Exactly. She said, I'm walking around here in flats and sneakers and stuff. But they brought up the situation with Cynthia, with the lady from OLG or whatever. And Candy told her point blank. Candy said, look, we had every intention of telling you, but the hesitation was how we were going to come and tell you, because we knew that with our history, her coming to us at OLG was going to already send up flares and warning signs. She said, and what I didn't want is for us to undo all of the hard work we did on trying to repair our friendship. And Porsha received it. I feel like Porsha understood and Porsha received it. And they did ask Porsha a little bit about what was going on. And Porsha was like, look, at the end of the day, he betrayed me. And I have to figure out my next move and what's in the best interest of me, us, and Pilar. She said, I'm never going to stop him from having a relationship with his daughter. However, right now, we have to keep the conversations about our daughter separate from the conversations about us, because I don't want it to get mixed up and blended. She said, she's supposed to be getting ready to go back to work at Dish Nation, where Eva has been filling in for her since she went on maternity leave. But she's taking an extended maternity leave. But now Eva needs to get ready to go off on maternity leave, because Eva is, needs to be at home right now. And so, but it was a good conversation. It was light. I feel like Porsha was able to talk freely. I feel like Porsha, she said as much as she was comfortable saying, but I think it was still enough for her to have a good evening, have a good lunch with the girls. You know what I'm saying? But it was a good conversation, I felt like. So we see Eva down to the Dish Nation, honey, getting her face done for the, there's a part of Dish Nation where they, anyway, it ain't just radio, they see each other. Anyway, so she's getting her makeup done, and Cynthia calls while she's getting her makeup done. And basically, Cynthia is calling her to let her know that they talked to Porsha, and to also let her know the conversation that was had with Kenya and Porsha about her not bringing her babies. And basically, Eva was like, I'm going to just need them to get a life. Like, those are my children. How you going to get an attitude about me taking my children? And how you gonna be mad about who I decide to take and where I decide to take them? Like, those are my kids. And so that was pretty much that conversation, to just let her know what was being said and how that was being, twisted and displayed. And Eva was paying them dust. Eva was like, look, I done already had to get them together last year. Do I need to get them together again this year? Because I'm just not here for it. I'm just not here for it. And then they also talked about that they're going to be heading up to New York for World Pride, which, we saw those pictures and everything with them on World Pride, honey. But we'll get there. So then we see Kenya with the baby, and Mark calls. And basically, this is an opportunity for Kenya to continue to spin the narrative of the problems, dang, what's going on with me, that they've been having in their marriage or what have you. And she just basically talking about how he doesn't seem to trust her as a mother, that he questions all of the decisions that she makes because he has 2 kids, and he just feels like he has the corner market on child rearing in their household, and how that makes her just, makes her feel some kind of way, and she doesn't like it when he does that. She's like, when are you coming home? He's talking about some, well, maybe, I'm not sure, I don't know. Anyway, honey, anyway. So let me see Cynthia and Noelle. Noelle is home for the summer. She didn't have a great year at Howard. She said that she was dealing with anxiety. I don't know if you guys remember that her first semester, they said, basically was a wash, which means, code word, she flunked, she failed. And that they were going to redo it, which means that she got to redo all them classes she failed for a semester. But she's home for the summer. And what we find out, Miss Noelle identifies as sexually fluid. Because Cynthia asked her, have you met and you've been dating any guys? And she said, well, I definitely met some women that I felt were very attractive and that I would have been interested in dating. And so Cynthia said, she shared with us that she felt that she was, sexually fluid, but we're just still adjusting and dealing with it. And we support her. We love her. But, it's going to take some adjustment. Because, Noelle had herself a whole boyfriend, honey, before she left for college. Okay. But Noelle said that, she's attracted to men, she's attracted to women, and it's just whoever, whatever, and love is love, and she doesn't really want to put a label on it. She loves who she loves, and she's attracted to what she's attracted to. She said right now she's not dating anybody. She's not in a relationship with anybody, But Cynthia is like, hey, okay, just keep me posted. Let me know. She said at the end of the day, whatever you decide to do, we support. And if you bring home a lovely young woman who got it going on, I'm going to applaud you the same way as if you bring home a young man that's got it going on. Like, I just want you happy. So I thought that was cool. I ain't see it coming. I ain't see that one coming, but I thought it was cool. So then we get to catch up with Miss Marlo Hampton, because, y'all let me know in them comments that Nene is on suspension, and that is why Nene is not around, honey. I did not know that. I thought Nene was just too busy doing what Nene does. But we see Marlo, and it's funny because when they show Marlo, normally under Marlo's name it says Nene's friend, right? This time it said Candy's friend, because we see Candy and Ace, they're at the trampoline park, and honey, Ace wasn't feeling it at first, okay? He even fell on the trampoline. Ace was not feeling it. He wasn't feeling that thing. But it also looked like he had just woken up from a nap. You know how kids fall asleep in a car, and then you wake them up when you done got where you going? I feel like that's kind of what went down. That, he wasn't feeling that at first. He warmed up, but at first. So we see Marlo. Marlo then rolled up in there with 3 churn. So we said, well, Marlo, where these children come from? Marlo said that her niece and nephew, her 2 nephews, have been living with her for the past 5 months. And that her other nephew stays with her during the day because his mom, her sister, is in dental school. So while she's in classes, she watches him. She said, so she is, what they call her, Monty, a mom auntie. And what we find out is her sister has some mental challenges. She's bipolar, she's schizophrenic. And one day her nephew texted her and said, can you come and get us? Because the people are here to get mommy. And she was like, the people who? The police? Like, who's there? No, it was the hospital. The hospital was coming to get the mom. And I'm sure social services was either there or on their way to take them into custody. And so Marlo has taken over custody of the kids. And so, I applaud Marlo for that. We give Marlo a hard time, but it's never easy. And especially becoming instant mom to 2 children, it's a lot. And then dealing with them and what they are probably processing with their mom. So I applaud Marlo for that. I definitely do. Then we had a conversation about Nene, Marlo and Nene. And Marlo was saying how she said she had, I want to say she said she hadn't talked to Nene. Candy said Nene did reach out to her after the reunion, and so that they're in an okay place, And Marlo was saying how, I try to have people's back, I try to be there for you. Here go Candy. You ain't had my back with that whole closet situation. And you know they played the whole closet thing back. Girl, Marlo is funny. Marlo said, look, Candy, you can't listen to everybody. People will steer you wrong. And Candy was like, what? She said, like when I told you to go in that closet, you shouldn't have listened to me. I thought that was funny. I said, yeah, you right. But they were saying that basically, Marlo was saying, look, now that Nene, everything is going better for Greg, that he's cancer free now, he's in a better place, then maybe Nene is ready to, hear people and repair some of these relationships. And Candy was saying, Marlo, I think that you've been around the girls for a few years now. However, you've always been Nene's friend. And we just feel like you are always around to just sort of have Nene's back and be Nene's bodyguard, so to speak. And Marlo was like, well, no, I just want the girls to get to know me for me, not so much in conjunction with Nene. And I was like, okay. I guess that was their way of giving Marlo some screen time while Nene wasn't there, honey. But Nene don't play that, so y'all better y'all better walk lightly. Nene don't play that. You better walk very lightly. So Porsha and Shamir are hanging out, honey. Porsha said, me and Shamir used to sit around talking about the latest wig we gonna wear, what club we gonna go to, what drink we gonna drink. She said, now all we talk about is babies, bottles, and breastfeeding. I said, I know that's right. That is the natural progression of life, honey. But the two of them are sitting around and they're catching up. They got the babies there. And honey, Porsha then confided and Shamir that her and Dennis done slipped up. She said, he spent the night last night. And so she told the story. And basically what boiled down to was they went to the doctor's appointment. Dennis done got a couple of drinks in her, honey. And he got the kissing on that neck the right way. And Porsha ain't had none since he left the house. She said her hormones are all over the place. And next thing you know, honey, she said, next thing I know, I woke up. And he was laying next to me. I said, that ain't the next thing you know. You know a few things before y'all got to that part. But she said, but at the end of the day, nothing's changed. She said, I think he thinks we're in a better situation because he got ready to leave this morning and he wanted to give me a kiss on the mouth and calling me baby and everything. She said, but for me, no. She said, I don't want him to think that that's all it takes. I don't want him to think that we're back to being what we were because we're not. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready. She said, so I definitely know I made a mistake. We can't do that again. And I have to be really clear about my boundaries. She said, but, I'm just a woman. I'm a grown woman with needs. And that's just what it was. And then she talks about going to therapy. She said, he wants to go to therapy. And Shamir said, look, I think that's a great idea. She said, I'm open to therapy. But at the end of the day, she said, I don't know if I really want to know or not. And that's real. That's real talk. She said, I don't know if I want to know. I don't know if I want to know the truth. What I think I know is bad enough. I don't know if I want confirmation, but if he's going to tell me, then he definitely got to tell me the truth. And so that was that conversation. And so I thought that was pretty decent. Honey, in the next scene, we got Cynthia and we have Kenya. Kenya got a new car that she can't work. She got that new Tesla, honey, and she don't know how to work the Tesla. Cynthia got the car that she can't park. I said, these two, Lord have mercy. But that Tesla is sweet. I want a Tesla, and that thing ain't nothing but the truth. But she couldn't even close the daggone door because it's voice activated. So she talking about some close the door or door closed, and the door only closed halfway, honey. She got her door sitting wide open in the middle of the street. Anyway, but they finally got it together, and that damn shady ass Kenya done took Cynthia to one of those stores where you could buy like the the crystals and sage and all these different things for energy and spirits. And Kenya was like, well, I mean, since you said I have bad energy, since I have bad energy. And Cynthia was like, you're so damn shady. So Kenya got to going off about Eva and, how she didn't appreciate what Eva did and this and the other. And Cynthia was defending Eva, honey. Oh, Kenya wasn't feeling that. Kenya's going to tell her to be quiet so she could finish what she was saying. And Cynthia done got a little bit of bite to her too. Cynthia said, wait a minute. She said, I'm going to need you to bring that down. You not talking to Brook, you're not talking to Brooklyn. You talking to me. I'm not no child. You're not gonna talk to me like a child. And Cynthia was like, "Oh, yes, I am. I'm gonna finish what I have to say." And she said, "Well, she bought you a doll, and she did shit. And I'm returning that doll too. I'm returning that doll. Like you, I've never done anything to make her feel any kind of way about me. And this, that, and the other. And I mean, they were. And Kenya was going off. So then Kenya gonna say in her confessional, "I'm the only friend that Cynthia has. So I don't know why she's defending Eva over me." I said, "Oh, Lord." But Eva and Cynthia have become really good friends, And Cynthia's thing was, you running off of something that Porsha told you. It's not that deep. Like, it's not that serious. You just running off on what Porsha told you. But they go on to finish, buying their crystals and their sage and all that other stuff, honey, to cleanse the spirits, child. Then the ladies go shopping for not a wedding gown, a gown for Pride. But they went to a store that had a bridal boutique in it, because of course it was Candy, Eva, and Cynthia. And of course they were looking at Cynthia side eye like, "Why did you bring us to a bridal boutique?" But then she said no, they have bridal dresses on one side, but then they also have regular gowns. And so she's looking for a dress for the float for Pride. So they get down there, and that's when Candy realizes how close Cynthia and Eva have gotten. And she's like, "Okay, when did this go down? Because last I checked, they wasn't really feeling each other. So when did all this happen? Like, last I checked, Cynthia and Kenya were like, buddy. She was like, "Okay, well, all right." So they went on to let her know that they had the conversation with Porsha. And she wanted to know why she wasn't invited. Come to find out, that was Cynthia's job, honey. Cynthia done forgot to invite her child. But they go on, they find a dress. And then the whole thing with Kenya comes up again. And honey, Eva goes off. Eva goes off about why is Porsha carrying these bones. Porsha need to be worrying about what's going on in her own house, worried about what these blogs are saying. She said, "Why is Porsha worried about mine?" She said, "Look, those are my kids. And I will decide where they're going to go, when they're going to go, and how they're going to get there. And I don't understand why anybody has a problem about what I do with my children and where my children go." She said, "And I'm not going to apologize for it." So I said, "Well, I don't blame you. I guess you shouldn't. I don't blame you." So that was pretty much that. So then, because you already see where that's getting ready to go. That's getting ready to be a showdown between them. But anyway. So then we see Porsha going to therapy. And she's talking to Lauren on the way. And, Lauren is saying, "Look, I'm dealing with raising my daughter without, with her dad, with co-parenting. And it's not easy." She said, "So if y'all can make it work, if y'all can figure it out, do the best you can to try to make it work. But at the end of the day, just try to make therapy work. Try to let it work for you." So she gets to the place for the therapy. And this how you know it's real therapy, right? This how you know it's real, because they did not film it. She went in, the cameras waited for her to come out. Baby, she came out in tears. She came out 35 minutes later, which is not a full session, okay? It's not a full session. And she came out in tears. So what we find out later on in the episode, Lauren comes over, and her and Lauren have a conversation. And she tells Lauren, he confirmed it. He confirmed that while I was pregnant with his child, he was sleeping with another woman. And you could tell that some other things came up, because she was trying to not say everything that happened, because she kept saying, "Well, then he said some stuff. I don't remember what he said, but I mushed him in the head." Oh, you know what he said. If you mushed him in the head, you know what he said. And you might not want to tell us, but you know exactly what he said. But she said that she ran out of there. She said he was crying before they even got started with the session. And she said, "I'm done." She said, "I'm not going to do this." And Lauren was saying, "Look, don't say that. Give yourself time to calm down." She said, "No, I don't." She said, "Lauren, I watched you go through infidelity in your relationship. And I watched you pick yourself up." Y'all, I just caught a camera I just caught an editing boot error in the camera. The episode is playing in the background. So when she first pulled up, the first time she pulled up for the therapy session, she parked right next to a white car, right? Then when they saw her get out the car, it's a Mercedes Benz in between her and the white car. But it wasn't no space between her and the white car when she first pulled up. Oh well, they go editing error. Anyway, moving on. So she tells Lauren, she said, but I saw you deal with your infidelity. And I saw you pick yourself back up and put yourself in a better situation. And nobody deserves to be treated that way. And I saw what you went through. And that's made me realize that I deserve better. And I don't have to deal with this. And I'm not going to. I'm not going to deal with it. And I said, oh boy. But she said, and Lauren was telling her, she said, and you know, they both of them crying, honey. And Lauren's telling her, she said, I just don't want you to make a rash decision. She said, I'm not going to do this. She said, I'm not. I deserve better, and I'm not going to be disrespected, and I'm not going to be treated that way. I said, oh boy. So anyway, honey, that is pretty much where it ended. So we will see where it goes from there. And that's it. That's all. Peace.